Greetings and welcome back to Switched to Linux. Well, today we're going to have a quick look at Debian, and we're going to just talk about a couple issues. This is dedicated to Paperbagman. Told me about some issue with the downloading Debian, so I looked into that a little bit, and it turns out that that's not like what you have to do. It's something they recommend, and I'm still not sure exactly how or why I'd want to use that system, but we're going to walk through getting Debian because it can be a little bit difficult. So let's go ahead and start in with the commenties. No, the one stream after they need to see them at work. Yes, it is, you know, the time for time for lunch, I guess. So Cool War Boy, greetings. Libre Secure, hello. Keegan, greetings to you as well. Papa John says delivered. Really? I'm making pizza right now. You have it delivered, I make it. Actually, that's why I'm kind of in here just a minute. Like, I came back into the office like 2 minutes before I had to start because I got a time making the pizza dough right because I have a 9 o'clock stream as well. So in 2 hours, I'll be live streaming on the Christian channel. So I want to start making the dough now, give it this stream to rise. The end of this stream, I'll go ahead and cook it. I'm actually making one for later and then cooking one now. So, yeah, pizza. Where's pizza? Pizza. Let's see. Mark Jones, greetings. Hello, Mark. I don't remember seeing you on the stream before. Greetings. I just use my PC mainly for Steam games. Switched back to Debian recently because game crashes doesn't happen at all in Debian. Stability can't be beaten. Yeah, Debian is very stable. That's actually the computer behind me is running Debian. And I like it. I want to wipe it so I can test out some other distros, but Debian's good. Robert Fitzpatrick, greetings. Cool War Boy, hello again. Daniel, greetings. The Debian confusion explained. All right. Here, Bagman, made it just in time. Very good. And lots of kitties. The Undertaker, greetings. Thank you for your videos. Appreciate it, man. No problem. Analog, hello there. Lamarck, greetings. And Lamarck was also on DT live stream. Yes. Frost Ranger of the Frozen Realm, greetings and hello. Jason, how's it going there? Did you ever try the Nintendo emulators? Does anyone have any input on the Dolphin emulator? I have a Retro Pi that can emulate Nintendo games. I really don't do videos on those because most people's implementation of those may or may not be legal. It's just questionable legal ground, particularly where Nintendo comes to mind. But RetroPie, if you're looking for one of those, you can look up information. I have a request. Do you think you can possibly complete the Nextcloud? Yes. What else do we need to do on it? I've had so many different requests and there's so many different angles to hit it, and some of it's just so complicated. I just didn't want to get into all of it. But yes, what are the things you want to see next on Nextcloud, and I'll see what I can do. First on a live stream, unknown. Greetings. Welcome. William Nellis is here. Debian isn't that difficult. Hello. Apparently he's trying to leave. Which branch of Debian am I installing? I grabbed Stretch. Very much appreciate if you could complete the tutorial. Yeah, what do you want to... the tutorials as I have them completed right now, they can do anything except doing code for like the Google Docs replacement, because that requires an extra serving and a lot of coding knowledge. And the talk, the stun server is not set up. But what else do we need? And I will see what I can do. Sorry, should have said hello. First time is here. Greetings, Jason. Hello. KO2610. Greetings. Dronefly Northwest. Hello. Greetings. Skybear. Greetings and salutations. There's something nice about running pure stock Debian. Yep. Debian sucks, use Ubuntu. No, Debian doesn't suck. Debian is very good. Debian install is the ones you were talking about last night. Yes, we're going to be doing a couple of those little steps. Never used Debian for a long time. Can't get net install easily, but can't find the full ISO. Okay, that's kind of the first part, is Debian is... It's hard to navigate their website, so let's go ahead and jump on over to their website. All right, so on their website, under Getting Debian, the problem is they don't have a lot of good, pretty pictures, and it's hard to navigate what you're doing. So you can download installation image, install an image, try Debian before installing, buy a set of DVDs, buy a computer pre-configured. Okay. So over here, these are the PC 64 and 32-bit net installers. These are the ones I generally use because what's going to happen is it's going to download a small file, and then with a small small file downloaded, then it will grab only the things that it needs during the installation. This is what I use because it allows you to pick your desktop environment on install or install multiple desktop environments. Otherwise, if you want to grab, in my opinion, the best way to download it, particularly if you need the full size, is to grab a torrent. So you want to hit the torrents over here. And the torrents are going to open up in any torrent client. And on Linux Mint and most Linux distros, you can grab Transmission to grab those. And then what you want to come down do is just grab the individual torrent item here. So let me actually see which one I can find here. So here's Cinnamon, here's GNOME, KDE, LXDE, Mate, and XFCE. So basically you just click on these guys. They'll download very quickly. There's your 80 kilobit. And allow the torrent to grab it because it can do what the other software is talking about, where it can figure out where you are, and it's about it'll pick up where it is, it'll verify itself in the ISO. Best way to go. Best way to go. Of course, grab your MS sum so you can verify it. So that's your torrents. As far as grabbing a complete image, these again are the torrents, the DVDs. These ones might be the larger ones. So if you click on this guy, this is where they are telling you you might want to, if you download it with HTTPS, you might want to use one of these other applications. And I think Paper Bagman, this is where you're getting stuck, is these applications. I wouldn't do those personally. If you do need one of the larger ones, grab the torrent if you can. If you can't, just go ahead and try and download it manually. It's big, but as long as you're not grabbing the full complete set, which is several gigabytes, which you don't need, what you want to probably try and do is start with the live keys. The lives will allow you to install, to preview and install the desktop of your choice. The net installer will allow you to install anything, but it's going to boot into a way you can't test out live. The completes, so the CD, the 64-bit CDs, these ones are going to be smaller in size. These are going to be like 1.6 or so, maybe 2 gigabytes. The DVDs, these are the entire full system package that you need, and they were like 6 gigabytes. These are the ones you don't necessarily want. I would either do the net install or do a live. That's the one you want to grab, okay? And so what we're going to do now is I'm going to jump back over to the comment stream, and I'm going to go ahead and get a VirtualBox set up, and then we'll walk through how to install the net installer on this. So let's go ahead, and I don't think I need Linux Lite anymore, so I'm just going to grab my Linux Lite machine. No, wrong button. I love it when I push the button to start it rather than adjust my settings. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and back this guy up to Debian as its type. We're going to call this Debian. And then I'm just going to make sure everything else should be set up right. I think everything else should be fine on this. And then I'm going to drop this in. All right, so now, while that's going, we're going to have a quick look at the comments. Let's see. Install Debian with our lovely GNOME DE. Why would I want to do that? Okay. Well, you did everything other than Google Docs replacement. You said that is beyond my knowledge to do on my own. There's not much content out there to get it done. Yeah, maybe I'll just go ahead and do that. It's a pain, but I'll see what I can do. The problem I have is that, yes, I can do it. Yes, I have it functioning, but it actually takes a long time, and I don't have a ton of time. And until this channel can replace my full-time income, I don't have a lot of time to do full-scale, amazingly done, in-depth tutorials like that. I would love to. It's kind of tabled until a later time. I'll see how quickly I can get it done, but I mean, it requires installing some Docker images, doing a lot of configurations. It takes a while. I'll see if I can get to it, but that one's not holding any promises. Hello, James Miller. How's it going there? Using MX17 at the moment. Really like it. I entered the IP address of my home printer. It redirects me to the printer settings. Yes. That is what will happen. What is difficult about Debian website? It doesn't make a lot of sense, particularly if you're used to modern day websites where, you know, in theory, things are easier to find. It is a poorly organized website. As a UI web designer, I concur. Debian's website needs help. But yeah, you just got to read over the information. I prefer Debian over Ubuntu. Last time I ran Debian was years ago. I had trouble installing software, finding documentation on an apt package when their first package manager. Let's see. Sad Debian doesn't have a GUI manager drivers like Ubuntu and Manjaro. Yeah, that's one of the downsides of it is it doesn't have a driver utility. No LXQT. A printer can be a server. Yes, indeed. Debian Buster should have a budgie option, but didn't see an option for that in the installer. I'm sure, though, if you started with GNOME, you could probably just add the budgie desktop, but I don't know for sure, but maybe you could. I don't know. Can entering the IP address of a certain device really allow you to access the device like a printer on other devices? Yes. It depends on the setup. The problem with printers, particularly network printers, is they are so inherently insecure. Their admin logins are usually hard-coded in, even though they may have a UI thing to change the admin access to the printers. Oftentimes they're hard-coded, so those don't work. It's kind of funny, really. Your smoke detector and thermostat control these days are web servers built into them. Yep. Yeah, torrents are there, so hopefully you can spot those now. Remember, entering the printer's IP on a web browser showed me the printer settings. No proprietary codecs installed on Debian. There is actually an unofficial release you can get for it. It's on there somewhere. See if I can remember where it's at. Somewhere on the Debian site, you can actually find the ones that actually come with the non-free already set up. I can't remember where those are now. Let me see. Might be under this one. It's on here somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so all right. So if I come over here to their website and I want to hit the try live before installing, and then come over here, grab AMD 64 for 64-bit processor. Here's the unofficial images. So these ones here, if I want to go 940 plus non-free or 940 live non-free, I can click on these, select the various places, and then I should be able to see a list of, these are all of the various AMD 64, so 64-bit systems with all the desktop environments with the non-free with the non-free repositories already added. So if you are having problems with things because the non-free repositories are not added, download one of these. They are a little bit bigger. I thought there were torrents on these somewhere over here too. Can't remember. But yeah, if you can go into the website and grab those as well. Let's see. Change all the printer settings without even needing. Okay. How much space would Linux need if I'm going to create a partition on my Mac laptop? You don't want to run probably any less than like 32 gig if you can spare that much. But it runs well there. Technically, you can do it on like 8 to 10, but you won't have a lot of space for things in our modern world. All right, Paper Bag Man, did you see where those were at? Cannot change my router settings, though. It is blocked by password page and I don't know the password. If it has not been changed, it is generally admin. Yes, somebody can hack your printer for criminal purposes. The funniest link... the funniest link I've ever seen is somebody hacked a printer and installed Doom on it. All right, so I put the link in the comment feed there for the unofficial non-free images. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and boot this guy up, and then we'll walk through the net installer. All right, so where's my desktop view? All right, so here's my desktop view. So we have the graphical installer over here. We have the install, the advanced options. I'm just going to go ahead and do the graphical installer. I like doing the graphical, and unless it doesn't fail, then I'll drop into the non-graphical one. They're much the same. This one's just prettier, and I have a mouse. So select your language. We'll start with the English. Select your location. We are going to select US, and then keyboard, American English is good. You can select all yours. So now it's going, if you do not have an internet connection, we're going to have some problems over here because it has to retrieve all this information from online. All right. Of course, this is Debian 9. This is Stretch. So it's detecting network hardware now. Waiting for things, attempting auto configuration. Hopefully this all works. It should, though. All right, so now list a host name. So Debian is just fine. If you know what that means, then we'll know what to change it. Otherwise, leave that blank, leave the other one blank. All right, so here is where you want your root password. We're going to set up Debian. Now, if I remember correctly, if I leave this, I think I can leave this blank. And if I leave this blank, we're just going to go ahead and test this. If you leave this blank, then your main username is going to have sudo privileges. And that's what they say. If you leave this empty, the root account will be disabled and the system's initial user account will be given power to use sudo. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to leave these both blank so that we have sudo privileges on our main user. Otherwise, now this is more of a security thing. If you set up sudo, if you're setting up a good secure system, give yourself a password here, but then your first primary regular user is not going to have sudo access to the machine. You can add it later by logging in as root and assigning sudo privileges. It just depends on how much work you want to do. Since we want to fix some things on this right away, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. It's going to save us a step. Now we want a new user. I'm just going to name this Debian. And a password, we're also going to use Debian. So I'll show you that in the clear. So we are using Debian for that. Don't do that on a secure machine. So now it's going to go through and probe the server, figure out where we are, and get that working. Configuring the clock, we're going to pick Eastern time zone because that's where I happen to be at. We are detecting disks. All right, so here is, if you want to do something more advanced, you want to go with manual. Otherwise, I'm going to try and use the entire disk. all files in one partition is recommended. You can do separate partitions for various things. We're just going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to finish partitioning. We do need to toggle this button down to yes, but once we do this and proceed next, this will wipe out the hard disk. So make sure you know what you're doing or that you want to make sure everything is working. Now this is where the thing could take some time, so we're just going to go ahead and jump back onto, it's going along pretty good. And we'll jump back over to comments anyway. We'll be back in a minute. All right, let's see. I was a Debian guy as well. You look like a Manjaro guy now, Alex. All right, I've used Debian a long time. Okay. Way you will have a NAT thanks to your router, and all your internal devices will have internal IP address and safe from the outside. Yeah, as long as you have a good, as long as you're not port forwarding to the printer from the outside world. That's my biggest complaint with a lot of these modern day. We're getting all of these new printers and things. So oh, the network printer, you can print from anywhere, guys. Why? It's no need to print from anywhere. Like, my printer is at home. Ooh, I can print from my Android device. Why? I still got to go home and get the printer. Still got to go home and grab it off the printer. I mean, oh, I know. Ooh, print it now so you don't have to print it later. It doesn't take that much time, really. I don't know. Anyway, here's our next step. Do we want to... your installation CD has been scanned as labeled Debian 9.4. Do you wish to scan another drive? If so, insert it now. We're going to say no. If you are trying to create something, maybe you have downloaded the big thing or you have bought the big old pack of DVDs that has all the packages, you'd want to do that. So we want to say no. So we are going to continue. Configuring the package manager, we're going to go United States. And then... archive mirror, we're just going to go ahead and use the default. You can pick other ones. So if this one fails, we'll just go ahead and grab another one. I'm just going to go ahead and pick that one. We have no proxy on the internet, so we are going through that. And let's see if this is going to take some time or not. Installed Ubuntu 18.04 on my computer. It immediately froze on startup. Debian SID froze with GNOME. I know it's an issue with GDM because I installed GNOME Shell on Ubuntu and it started fine. Okay. Linux Mint 19 doesn't have Wine built in. That is good. I am a strong denier of installing Wine pre-installed on a computer. You only want Wine on your Linux box if you know you have to run it, and it's better if you don't, because while Wine might allow you to run a small handful of Windows applications on Linux, it also allows nearly all Windows viruses to run on Linux. So Wine is not something that, like, a lot of distros are coming out now. It's like, we have Wine configured. You can run your Windows applications. And it is disingenuous, and it hurts the Linux community because not all Windows applications runs on Wine, and Wine is an inherent security issue on your Linux computer. Only install Wine if you need it. All right, so this is the controversial popularity contest, which came to Debian before it came to Ubuntu, but you will notice that it is set to no by default. So if you're just clicking quickly through things, you will not participate. Also, unlike Ubuntu, this will not even install the package if we click no. Ubuntu always automatically installs popularity contest. It's just disabled, which is troubling enough on its own. Because, you know, once it's there, maybe a system update will enable it. I don't know. So we're going to go ahead and skip PopCon. All right, so now we get to decide what we want to run. Do we want to run SSH? Do we want to print from this? Do we want a web server? Do we want standard system utilities? You'll see the default is the Debian desktop environment, standard system utilities, and the print server. Now I can decide which distro do I want. All right, a poll. What distro, what DE to install? All right, so let me know. I'm going to go ahead and give it a second to you guys to respond. We're going to jump back into the comments, and then I'll come back to that. Okay, I never really thought someone would hack my printer for illegal purposes. Why they want to hack something like a printer? One of the things you can do with a printer is you can get a list of everything that's been printed, and some printers a copy of the documents. Get another router, set up as NAT server and DHCP for your local network. Stretch a line for your internet router as your IP, and you're much safer. BHD user, hug me. Oh boy. Oh boy. More important is that they own your printer and they can use it as a pivoting point. Yes. Troublemaking nerd can hack into all the printers on a network and cause havoc just to be funny. Debian is like the polar opposite of Arch. Arch is bleeding edge, technically unstable. Debian has outdated software, but very stable. Well, the software it's not outdated. It's just not the newest versions. The difference is Debian still has all the security that you will get inside of anything else. It just doesn't have the latest versions of everything. So if you look at how software runs, you'll keep getting security updates for older software, even with newer software out in existence. Let's see. For remote desktop on Linux, do I have to download third-party app like TeamViewer? I don't know because I don't do all that kind of stuff. That's a good question for Joe Collins' channel because he does a lot of that kind of stuff. I know you can install TeamViewer as a Linux client, but I don't know because I just don't do that type of thing. So what are my thoughts on OpenSUSE in general? I think it's particularly a fine distro to learn a lot of Linux on. It's not one I run on a regular basis, but it's good. It's good. I thought I could own my computer from a printer. Play video games, so I have to look at all the ways I can get games to run in Wine. Okay, what you want to run is you want to run Play on Linux because it will allow you to create a virtualized box for each of your applications, particularly since different applications run better under different versions of Wine. You can set up each Play on Linux container to run a different version of Wine best optimized for the game you're trying to run. So that's what you want to do. Look in the tutorials on Play on Linux. Late for you. Thought spent mine. Don't run. Wine. Greetings, Jim. How's it going there? Oh, I didn't know that installed. Okay, XFCE. I have a KDE. XFCE, Mate, KDE, GNOME. Just kidding. KDE, XFCE. Your wine is held hostage with ransomware. Go figure. KDE, Cinnamon, Mate, Cinnamon, XFCE. Oh boy, lots of thoughts. So each one pretty much had all kinda. All right, so we are going to actually do XFCE because a number of people asked for that, including the person that had specific questions about how to get Debian running. So we're going to run XFCE. So you can actually install more. I don't want to install a bunch of them right now because it can take longer to load. But you can just select. In fact, the one of my installs, I have done this. I have XFCE. Oh, not KDE. No, wait. I don't have XFCE. I have KDE, Cinnamon, and Mate running on one of mine. But we're just going to do XFCE. We're going to click Next. And then now it's just going to grab everything related to the XFCE install. Now, the downside of running multiple of them is each of the desktop environments come with their own set of tools. So, like, when I did my video on Linux Mint 19 with adding KDE to it, I failed in not installing sudo apt install KDE-full will put the whole suite of KDE apps on there. I should have done that in the video. I didn't. but that will get you all the KDE apps. But what this is going to do is it's going to grab you all the system tools built within that system. So if you install KDE, you're going to get all the KDE system utilities. Cinnamon gets all the Cinnamon system utilities. This is going to grab all of the XFCE system utilities. So that's the advantage. And then, of course, if you grab 2 desktops, you're going to get all of the utilities for all of them. So it can become a software nightmare if you happen to do that. All right, so back to the comments. Let's see. Debian testing is for top rolling distro experience. There you go. Cinnamon's good too. Yep, I like Cinnamon. That's what I'm running on the computer right next to me over here. That's running Debian Cinnamon. Okay, kind of what I meant. Not like being overly, okay. Today, International Hug BSD Day. Apparently, and I should go hug my router because my router is pfSense. Yes, XFCE is an option. Forgot Cinnamon was an option. Changed my vote to Cinnamon. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Paper Bag Man. I did XFCE. But yeah, Cinnamon is an option, and it runs beautifully. That's actually what I have on the computer beside me. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed all day long. This is telling me it's going to take about 2 minutes left for downloading this stuff. All right. You actually managed to get in your router using default password. You always go into settings and change the password. Yes, change your passwords on your routers. Please do that, people. It is a house router. It's just the admin settings. Yep, you better secure it. Become that guy who decided to secure the router, secure everyone else's devices, then because otherwise they'd be incorporated. They would be assimilated into the Borg. Also, does anyone else know if TeamViewer protects your IP? I do not know. Off to sleep. Good night, Jim. If anyone gets too curious, you can install them all and switch back and forth. Yes. The admin account can be accessed. You will be on the network. All right. Man, I think I'm missing out and need to try out Debian. Never did after Linus said he had trouble booting it into that one interview. Yeah. See too many times people tracing IP addresses with text scammers. Yeah, probably not. That's my guess. Password to access the network is harder to break than the admin password. Yeah, TeamViewer is peer-to-peer. Yep. Just ran across your channel looking to go full Linux. It can pass the if it can pass the wife test. Which distros best complements someone all up the Google ecosystem? You want to run something that supports online accounts. Because you can actually log in your online account directly into the operating system. It will sync Google Drive to your system. It should sync your calendars and your contacts. So Linux Mint Cinnamon does. I did a video on that on the first beta discussion on that. Budgie and GNOME. I personally don't like the GNOME desktop. Try it out. It might be for you. I don't like it, but try it out. Budgie or Cinnamon are the two that do support that feature very well. So that might be the one you want to do because it's a lot easier to work with. You also, and just anything else, just figure out which applications to use. I would look at Linux Mint Cinnamon, obviously, because it just seems to have some of the best support across the board. Anything running Budgie, so like Manjaro, Budgie, or maybe Solus, which is the Budgie King because they developed it. So any of those, if you're tied into the Google ecosystem, doing those. They will also easily allow you to install things like Google Chrome if you use that. Again, not my recommendation, but for those that you like it, you have that option. Linux Mint should allow that from the software store now. And what other Google services did I miss? But I think that just pick one of those 3 desktop environments, GNOME, Cinnamon, or Budgie. You can go right into the online accounts and the settings of all of those, plug your Google account on the operating system level, and it will sync your calendars, your contacts. It might sync your emails depending on what email app you have as well. I just don't know about that. If anybody knows, can let us know in the comments. Let us know. Okay, be careful having your router. It may fail. It might. It hasn't really failed me much, though. It really hasn't. Can you install Ceremony? I have no idea. Does Cinnamon come with Nemo? I think so. Yes. My Debian stretch over here running Cinnamon is running Nemo 3.2.2. It's actually curious. Let me see if this version runs online accounts. I don't use the online accounts. I certainly don't use integrated Google services. I barely use Google services at all. You know what? Debian... Oh, wait. Hold on. Does it? Yeah, Debian Cinnamon does not actually seem to support the online applications either. So you want to go with something that definitely has the online accounts. So Linux Mint Cinnamon has the online accounts. I'm guessing Manjaro might. In fact, I'm pretty sure it does. I know Budgie does on Manjaro. All right. Another question, on the install. So now we want to install Group Bootloader on the hard disk. You generally want to say yes. Now, if you are attempting to dual boot, particularly if you're dual booting on different operating systems with multiple records, you will either want to, if you will have the option to choose the disk, make sure you choose the disk that Debian is actually on. If you can't choose the disk, you want to say no and then install Grub Bootloader a complicated way later, which is beyond the scope of this video. Right now, we're going to say yes. This is going to make sure it's going to do that. So, okay, this is where it's asking you. So click on your yes and then select the drive that you want. I'm going to do manually because there's only one drive on this. If you have multiple drives in your computer, make sure you select the drive that you have installed the operating system on. So make sure you get that drive right. Make newly installed system bootable by installing group on the bootloader. Do this to install group. If you prefer, you can install it elsewhere on a drive. Okay, I think we can leave that blank and hit continue. I hope that's all right. And then now we are finishing the installation. So I'm going to go back to comments while that's finishing. All right. Does Cinnamon... Okay, yes, we did that. Can the router settings also allow you to block websites? Depending on the router. A more complicated... Like, my Linksys router will allow me to put in a small handful of websites to block. pfSense will allow you to do a full block. If you're trying to block a lot of things and you don't have that ability, and most store-bought routers will not have that ability, you want to pick yourself up a little Raspberry Pi and run either NoTrack or Pi-hole, which I want to do videos on one or both of those down the road. All right, so here it is telling us installation is complete. We will go ahead and hit continue. It's going to unmount everything, and it might go ahead and reboot. And if it reboots, it probably has that drive still in it. So we're going to see what it does here. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and power the machine down. Take off the drive manually. Okay, that is empty, and go ahead and restart. I hope I didn't goof up that last step with installing the Grub bootloader, because it's not wanting to work for me right now. Want to come up for luck, Kitty? Kitty's coming up for luck. You know what? Since I toggled around the since I toggled the thing, I actually messed up the grub bootloader. That's what I did. Oops. There is effectively no bootloader on the disk. So that was entirely me goofing, like, because what I did is, know how I hit the manual, I was supposed to select the other one. I was thinking automatic for whatever reason. So I goofed up installing the bootloader. Let me think about if I can get that, the fastest way to get that installed. Downside of walking people through doing this, sometimes you're toggling different options there. I'm going to try and run the graphical recovery system from the drive. So let's go ahead and get caught up on comments, and then we'll see if I can get this guy fixed here. Katie syncs with Google too. You get Google Drive in your file manager. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Hopefully I don't have to set up the whole system again. It looks like I might have to. Okay, use as your root. You'll be able to that, continue. There we go. So there's an option to reinstall the grub bootloader. So we're going to go back to that step there. Slash, should be dev sda. SDA. I think it's dev SDA1, but I'm not completely certain. Let's see if that works. Uses grub and reinstall failed. Exit code 1. Anybody know off the top what exit code 1 is? I might have just completely messed the whole thing up. All right, let me see. Go over here, partition, install the base. Install. Wait, go back, go back. Just trying to fix my mistake. Looks like I might have to reinstall the system again. It's going to be easier than fixing everything else. Greetings, Anarita. How's it going there? I wish there was a way to get good native Google support on Linux. I mean, there's plenty. What do you think about Chromium? Is it safer than Chrome? It is safer than Chrome because Chromium is the open source base. We can audit the code that goes into Chrome, and then Chrome is when you take Chromium and then you start adding a lot of extra junk to it that we can't audit. That's really what the difference is. So Chromium I prefer a whole lot better to that. There was a super chat down here. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for the advice. No problem, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. Again, depends on your router features. Chromium is just like the bleeding edge version of Chrome, except Chrome has proprietary Google stuff in it. There we are. Now we're installing the Grub bootloader. I just went back to that screen that I had and I selected the proper disk. So now hopefully it should boot. I think we have a booting Debian now. Woohoo! We fixed it. Give that a second. Hopefully I don't need to enter the login. I might actually have to just reboot the whole system. Yeah, it's doing something else right now. Not allowing me to do an input. All right, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I didn't fix it. Get rid of that. Make sure our drive is empty. Try that again. It's funny. I never have a problem installing Debian. I can't tell you how many times I've installed Debian. Can't get it done on a VirtualBox. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a VirtualBox. I don't know. Let's see if that does anything there. Using Debian testing SID, Cinema has support for online accounts. Oh, okay. Thank you. I did not know that. Give me problems with Cinema. It's printing. Printing in Linux is a nightmare. It actually just depends on which printer you have. Yeah, I killed the install. I killed it. That was entirely my fault. Time is it? 7:49. Let's see. Okay, so printers. I hear HP are okay, but I don't buy or support or recommend HP products. Epson printers work very well. Brother printers work pretty good, but the scanners do not. Epson scanners work perfectly out of the box without any messing around at all. So it really depends on the printer, and avoid Canon at all costs. That's kind of your brief rundown on printers. A friend of mine switched to Mint when he saw his new Windows 10. Sent him a happy birthday email. Yeah, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Okay, guided use the whole disk. There's that. All in one. I'm just really quickly running through all the steps again. I'm going to do cinnamon this time, though, because that's what the person who asked about the system actually wanted, didn't know it was an option. Guys they see the live traffic going through regardless of the available feature. I'm guessing schools have the same level of insecurity as home systems. It depends on the school. Had issues printing on Linux. Enjoying Ubuntu Budgie with dual boot. Nice, since I haven't needed to use Windows. Yeah, Budgie's awesome. I do like Budgie. I like the word pie hole. So that we can shove giant Reese's in Asia's pie hole. Every home runner has the same level of insecurity. A lot of them. What other home devices can have embedded servers besides printers? Everything that says smart. And that's kind of the problem. Paper Bagman has an HP printer. Is it working well? I've heard that it does. Run installation. Yeah, I actually did that, Pyodor, run the individual steps, but it turns out that you could not install Grub without going through and repartitioning the disks. For whatever reason. I don't know why. It seems a little goofy to me, but that's exactly what I did, and did not let me do that. Mine is wireless. It is a Brother. Okay. Yeah, some Brother printers, like mine, I think it's kind of 50-50. Some distros, like I think to get it working on Debian and maybe even Mint, I actually had to download the the driver from Brother. Now the thing is that Brother actually allows you to they have a lot of good Linux driver support on their site. You just got to go in, enter your model of printer, and download the instructions. I'm not sure I've gotten the scanner to work yet, just because I have an Epson scanner laying around that I use. But different printers behave differently on different systems, and that's the unfortunate reality. Yeah, I deleted the comment because it had a bad word in it. We keep this channel family friendly. Paper My Printer HP also does not need drivers. Just install, plug and play. Yep. Actually, a lot of Linux installs. A lot of the Linux distros actually install a HP Print Manager inside. I usually go through and disable them. Yeah, I tried installing the Grub directly to that. The Grub installer booted, but it had to repartition the disks for some reason. But this is how easy it is to fix Linux if it borks up. Just go back through. Of course, this is telling me that Cinnamon now is taking me a long time. It's telling me it wants 2 hours to install everything. I'm not sure that's right. If it starts taking that long, then we're just going to have to abandon, and I'll come back and do a part 2 of this, how to fix the things we wanted to fix. Because I actually need to jump off here before too long. I have another stream coming up in 1 hour, and I plan on cooking a pizza and doing a bunch of other things in between. Yeah, what I did, Jason, if you mixed it, what I did is I was trying to walk through all the different steps, and in walking through all the different steps, I changed it to Grub instead, and I thought and I left the thing blank to install Grub, so it was entirely my fault. It was a whoopsie. Grub never installs correctly for the first time. I always have to play around with it. or use grub repair. Okay, when you install grub, do not use SDA. Instead, use SDA. Yeah, don't use SDA1. Yeah, I think the instructions on Debian are like, use SDA1. Like, no, it should be SDA. Yes, that is where I messed something up. That was entirely my fault. Specific smart devices will have these setting pages. Okay, if you install KO G Drive package for KDE, you'll be able to do sync Google Drive. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, there was an SDA1, SDA2, and SDA5 for some reason. So I think it put something else in the middle there. Yeah, I'm reinstalling it now. Arch could already have been installed. Not necessarily. I'm running a net installer. So, and, you know, Arch isn't necessarily faster than Debian. Okay, just for reference, the first one installed in, 5-10 minutes, even walking through all the instructions. This would be installed, but there's something in, it looks like it's something in the Cinnamon servers that keeps going up and down. So right now it's saying 47 seconds to get everything, but then it'll jump up to 6 hours. So it's having difficulty connecting to some of the servers somewhere. Diplomats are driving my OCD nuts. Diplomas. Well, that one looks like it's leaning down, doesn't it? UFO landings are more believable than Windows privacy promises. Amen to that. It's the last one. It's the bottom one. Yeah. Need to think to be a computer genius, enter commands in the port, tell the device what to do. Yeah, okay. Already been done. You could have already done the reinstall you would have done by now. Yeah. You guys know Jesus uses GNOME and the Demon Cinnamon. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, the problem is Gutenprint doesn't like most Ubuntu-based distros. It causes a serious issue and it causes the system to freeze. So Gutenprint is not actually that particularly good. Satan uses Windows. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Satan uses Windows. He knows exactly what you're doing. Yep. Feel bad now. I use Windows 10. I'm Hitler, guys. No. Well, maybe. I don't know. HP works flawlessly with Linux. Yeah. Interesting to open, inspect element, and figure out the ins and outs of the device. Why doesn't Manjaro have 32-bit version? A lot of distros are going without it. Ubuntu dropped 32-bit version as well. Mint is keeping 32-bit. Peppermint, of course. Linux Lite. Is Linux Lite keeping it? I can't remember. Good evening, Steve. How are you? No, VirtualBox will have an online version of the program and the specs of your VM can be customized. Didn't know a family friendly. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right, man. No big deal. About 128-bit. Yeah, that's what we need. Self-learning, sometimes best learning. No need. Okay. Ooh, thank you, Keegan. Yeah, we didn't need that. Did some things, learn by myself. Quick install, basically the Arch installer. Yeah, for some reason, Cinnamon seems to take a lot longer to install. XFCE, like, it's finished downloading everything a while ago. It's now about halfway done installing. The XFCE just installed fast. Grubs, those dirty bugs under your lawn. Moles like to eat them. Okay, so I didn't know about Ubuntu and Guten. Yeah, that's it messes up Ubuntu, a bunch of Ubuntu-based stuff. Never gotten it to work. 10-year-old Canon printer got Linux drivers from Turbo Point. Works great. There you go. Cinnamon is based on GNOME, yet indirectly. Yes, it is. I don't know how I can hate GNOME so much and love Cinnamon. Well, we hit the bottom of the comments. This guy's still going. Sheesh. I think what we're going to have to do is we'll wrap this up and we'll do a part 2 of this video where I'll actually fix the 2 issues I want to show you how to do. It was just my, I completely goofed up. It was entirely my fault. It was an easy whoopsie. I'll show you what I did and then we'll kind of wrap this up. Anna Rita, my wife just said your hair needs a haircut. No, it's just too much doing this from clients today. And I usually comb it and I forgot to. So we're going to do a final call for comments so I can get a chance to cook my pizza and then get ready for my next stream. So we'll do a final call for this and then we'll patch this up maybe another day, or I don't know, maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll patch this up on Saturday, or maybe I'll just do a brief live stream tomorrow if I get the chance. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up the right way and feed the kitty. Kitty, kitty. See if we can get a double catter. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Oh boy. Oh, there's the other cat. Now we got a double catter, and it's light out, so the colors will be good. All right. Ready, buddy? Ready? Yeah, you right here. Yeah, and you get yours. Yeah. We'll give each one of them one more. Here you go. No, right here. And there you go. Yeah. Are they finger licking good? They are finger licking good. That's it, girl. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. There you go. Want to say bye-bye to everybody? Bye-bye to everyone. I usually leave now. Yep. He usually leaves right about the time he gets his treats. He's a fickle friend indeed. He's just like, yep, I'm just along for the cat treats. All right. Anybody think iPhones and iPads? iTunes doesn't work, but what you want to do? Okay, let me get back to my desktop view because this is the part I did a goofy up on. All right, so we need to hit yes, and then you need to select the drive you're doing. I hit enter device manually. That's where I caused the goof up. Select that one. Now we are installing Grub, and it should boot up for us just fine. So then what we'll do is we'll use this machine on a live stream. Maybe I'll do one briefly tomorrow afternoon where we'll get on and fix those 2 issues I wanted to fix on this stream. So now it's rebooting the system, and let's see what happens. That's what I should be seeing, and it should boot us right on into Debian now. Here's my lunch is over. Great stream. Main issue is getting the full ISO. Show me how to do that. All right. All right, so now we just need to log in. So I used Debian and Debian. And now we are running Cinnamon, software rendering mode. And we'll pull this up, and let's just go into the drivers, make this guy full screen. We should be able to, I hope. Nope, we can't. We'll have to install guest editions in order to do that. So I might not even do that, just so we can get stuff fixed. All right, so there we are. So that was just my stupid mistake the first time around. All right. Tom loves Cinnamon and Budgie. Both are based on Gnome. In reality, Tom loves Gnome and just won't accept it. You're not supposed to tell my secrets, William. You're not supposed to tell my secrets. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? It's funny. I hate Gnome, and I love Budgie and Cinnamon. Of course, Cinnamon, then KDE, then Budgie would be my order of preference. CJ will take over the show one day. Yes, he will. Only rain today. Usually rains. Good, we had a dry spell. Yep. Is this over? Yeah, we're going to wrap up the final comments. I will be on the Christian stream tonight in about 1 hour from now. Hopefully I can cook the pizza, bake it, eat it, and get everything else ready for that stream in the short period of time that I have. But we'll see. Do ls command of all the files from a remote embedded server. You just need to, I mean, if you can SSH into it, yes. Like, let's say updating and syncing iOS devices. Like updating and syncing, you're talking about like using iTunes. No, not that I know of. But I don't recommend utilizing that type of feature anyway. As long as you have a good backup copy of your files, which you can plug into most Linux distros, you might need to install there as an iPhone, like an iPhone toolkit. As long as you just install that into the system, then yeah, you can do that. For music, you can sync music with a VLC and any media server. So I generally do that. So that's kind of what I would do. But if you jump on another one later, we can talk about it a little bit more. Joe Dinner, thanks for the stream. Thanks, I appreciate it. I knew he could not install. No, I could install it. It just, I goofed something up the first time. Where can we watch the stream later? Okay, the stream later will be on my channel. It is called Our Walk in Christ. Let me find a link for you. And this is a Christian-themed channel, so you can check out that channel in about an hour, a little under an hour. Hopefully I'll make it. I might be closer to 9:30. I mean, I'll start as soon as I get everything done in the middle. All right, guys, we will catch you later. Thanks for hanging out, and have yourselves a wonderful evening.